Final Destination 5. The terrifying wheel of fate spins one last time, centering on Sam Lawton, a young chef traveling by bus with his co-workers for a corporate retreat. As the bus stops midway on the massive, windswept North Bay Bridge due to construction work, Sam experiences an incredibly vivid and catastrophic premonition. He watches in horror as fierce winds cause the suspension cables to snap, tearing the concrete highway apart. In his vision, his co-workers die brutally, a tumbling semi-truck crushes his friend Isaac, a snapping cable slices his boss Dennis in half, his friend Olivia falls into the ocean to her death, his rival Peter is impaled by steel rebars, and his girlfriend Molly is safely guided across a ledge right before Sam himself is torn apart by a sheet of metal. Snapping out of the vision in absolute terror, Sam panics and drags Molly off the bus. His frantic retreat causes a chain reaction, leading his friends Peter, Olivia, Isaac, Nathan, their co-worker Candice, and their boss Dennis to follow them off the bridge. Seconds later, the bridge collapses exactly as Sam foresaw, killing everyone left behind. While initially relieved to be alive, the survivors attend a memorial service where they are approached by William Bloodworth, the mysterious coroner. He gives them a cryptic warning: death does not like to be cheated, and the only way to balance the cosmic ledger is to take someone else's life, a life for a life. If they kill someone who was not meant to die that day, they can steal that person's remaining lifespan and completely erase their own name from death's list. The survivors dismiss his words, but the timeline correction begins immediately. Candice, a talented gymnast, goes to practice, where a series of freak events, a loose screw on a balance beam and a dripping air conditioner, causes a dusty cloud of chalk to blind her teammate. The teammate slips, bumping Candice mid-air off the uneven bars, causing her to land awkwardly, snap her spine, and die instantly. The invisible assassin accelerates its countdown, claiming the victims in the exact order they died on the bridge. The horror spreads to Isaac, who visits a sketchy acupuncture spa. After being pinned down by dozens of needles, a fire breaks out in the room. He falls off the table, driving the needles deep into his body, only for a heavy falling Buddha statue to violently crush his skull. Next is Olivia. While undergoing a laser eye surgery procedure to correct her vision, a power surge malfunctions the machine, causing the laser to violently burn her eye and face. Panic-stricken, she breaks free and trips over a loose object, plunging straight through a glass window to her death on the pavement below. Witnessing these horrors, Nathan accidentally pushes a hostile co-worker, Roy, into the path of a falling factory hook, killing him instantly. Because Nathan accidentally took Roy's life, death skips him, proving Bloodworth's life for a life theory true. At this very moment, the boss, Dennis, who arrives at this location, dies because of the wrench that is thrown at him. The rules take a dark turn when Peter, driven completely insane by the death of his girlfriend Candice, decides he wants to steal a lifespan too. He targets Molly, reasoning that she shouldn't have survived the bridge since she was safe in Sam's vision. A chaotic showdown ensues inside the restaurant where Sam works. Peter kills a police detective to steal his life, but because he still wants Molly dead, he continues his attack. Just as Peter is about to murder Molly, Sam intervenes and impales Peter through the chest with a large cooking spit. Sam believes that by killing Peter, he has successfully stolen Peter's stolen lifespan, finally granting himself and Molly total freedom from the curse. 2 weeks later, Sam and Molly board a plane to Paris so Sam can pursue his culinary career. As they settle comfortably into their seats, a commotion breaks out a few rows ahead. A group of hysterical teenagers is thrown off the aircraft, with one boy screaming that he had a vision of the plane exploding. As the plane takes off, Sam looks down at his boarding pass and freezes in absolute horror as he reads the flight number, Voli Air Flight 180. Suddenly, the engine erupts into flames, tearing the fuselage open. Molly is sucked out of the cabin and ripped apart by the tail fin, while Sam is incinerated in a massive fireball as the plane explodes. The debris from Flight 180 rains down on Earth, and back at the factory, a heavy piece of the plane's landing gear crashes through the roof, pulverizing Nathan, proving that the coworker whose life he stole had an extremely short lifespan anyway, and that death's design always comes full circle. Final Destination 6. This time, death's horrific design unfolds around a family's bloodline that stretches across time. The story begins in May 1969, where a young woman named Iris attends the grand opening of a Sky View, a luxury restaurant with a glass floor located high in the sky, alongside her boyfriend, Paul. While there, she experiences a terrifying premonition of a gas heater leaking, causing a massive explosion that collapses the entire building and kills everyone inside. She quickly screams and saves the people around her, preventing the tower from collapsing that day. However, 55 years later in the present day, Iris's granddaughter, a university student named Stephanie Reyes, begins having recurring, mysterious nightmares showing her family being caught in a catastrophic accident. She returns to her hometown to investigate, where she learns that because her grandmother defeated death all those years ago, death has begun hunting down not only the original survivors, but also their children and grandchildren, who were never meant to be born, in order of their age. Stephanie meets her grandmother Iris in a secret underground bunker, where Iris hands her a journal containing clues about death's patterns that she had documented over decades. To prove the truth to her granddaughter, Iris steps outside the bunker. There, a bizarre chain reaction of accidental mishaps causes a heavy metal weather vane to tear off the roof and impale her straight through the mouth, killing her instantly. Later, during a family barbecue, Stephanie's Uncle Howard steps on a piece of broken glass, slips, and is brutally killed when he falls directly into a running lawnmower. Realizing that death is actively hunting her family, Stephanie tries to save her cousin, Eric. But while Eric manages to escape, his sister Julia accidentally falls into a dumpster and is crushed to death by the compactor mechanism of a arriving garbage truck. It is later revealed that death skipped Eric because he wasn't part of the family's true bloodline, conceived from an extramarital affair. In their quest to find a way to save themselves, they track down a mysterious figure named JB, who turns out to be none other than William Bloodworth, the legendary mortician who knows death's secrets. He was a young child present at the tower disaster back in 1969. Now dying of cancer, Bloodworth tells them there are only two ways to beat death: either claim another person's life, or become clinically dead and be brought back to life. Following this advice, they plan to trigger an allergic reaction with peanuts on Stephanie's brother, Bobby, inside a hospital, intending to resuscitate him afterward. However, the plan fails catastrophically when a nearby MRI scanner malfunctions from a high-pressure power surge. The powerful magnetic field violently pulls on Eric's metal piercings, dragging him into the machine where he is crushed to death. Instantly, a heavy iron spring violently flies out of the malfunctioning scanner and pierces straight through Bobby's head, killing him too. The surviving family members, Stephanie, her younger brother Charlie, and their mother Dolene, flee the scene in Dolene's large RV. However, the vehicle crashes and plunges into a nearby lake, trapping Stephanie inside as it begins to sink. Dolene manages to rescue Charlie, and tells him to save Stephanie as she surfaces. But just as Dolene emerges from the water, a massive falling lamppost collapses onto her, slicing her completely in half. Charlie acts quickly, dives back down, pulls an unconscious Stephanie out of the water, and administers CPR, successfully reviving her. A week later, while attending Charlie's high school prom, they receive a call from a doctor who reveals that Stephanie's heart had never actually stopped while underwater, meaning she was never clinically dead. The moment they realize this terrifying mistake, a freight train loaded with massive logs derails right next to the school, crashing directly into the prom venue. A barrage of flying heavy logs hurls through the air, crushing both Stephanie and Charlie to death on the spot. The film ends, proving that no one can ever truly escape death's design when it comes to a bloodline.